Hello and welcome to the Hockey Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. I'm your host, Ryan Gilbert. Joining me, as usual, is Joel Meyer. How are we doing tonight, Joel?
We're still recovering from last night. Epic contest between the Oilers and the Panthers. You know, we've been spoiled this week in terms of just epic, tremendous, magnificent sporting events between Sunday, which is probably the best tennis match I've ever seen in my life. And I'm not alone in that. A lot of people are saying that. And then Thursday, arguably the best hockey game I've ever watched, considering the stakes and everything. Like, the game had it all. The series has it all. These players have had it all. And they happened in the space of 4 days of one another. So it's been a pretty crazy year of sports too. Like, if you consider like the Final Four in March or April, I guess technically, and then you had the Masters, Rory winning there. I mean, we've had some really, really good sports so far the first half of this year, and this nothing greater than this week, I think, between the two sports. Even basketball has been really good. It's been especially with these Pacers games, been highly dramatic. So yeah, it's been we've been blessed this year for sure, especially this week.
Yeah, I know you're just talking this week, but I still feel like probably game 2 is one of the better hockey games. Last night was great just from, a general fan perspective, but I think, game 2, so many back and forths, while this one was just the Panthers go up 3-0 early. Oilers, rally back all the way, and then Sam Reinhart, gets one there to tie it up, but then Leon Draisaitl just throws a puck on net, gets in there. I guess given that the fact that the Panthers were on the cusp of a 3-1 lead in the Stanley Cup Final.
Oilers looked dead. They looked utterly spent, just defeated by the Panthers, and then they came back from the dead. Like, I don't know. There's just the swing was more massive than the just the back and forth in game 2, because you never really figured one team was going to win there like you did in game 4, especially after game 3 where the Panthers demolished them. You just figured that it's going to continue like that, and then the Oilers flipped the fucking switch.
Yeah, Cal Pickard comes in, and they're able to flip the switch there. I mean, Stu Skinner had some amazing.
Forget like Jesus, Cal Pickard is the real savior there in Edmonton.
I mean, Skinner was looking good early on. He had a few huge saves there. I think Bennett had an early chance, shot back into him, but like the Panthers just kept pushing and pushing. But 3-0 lead going into first intermission. Apparently, Corey Perry spoke up, and it was the Oilers' depth that stepped up. Darnell Nurse, Wallman, Podkolzin, Nugent Hopkins scoring with his injury. I mean, just, I thought McDavid didn't have a point, but he had a secondary assist on the Nugent Hopkins goal, I believe. So had 1 point, but I mean, otherwise, it was all the other lines getting it done for the Oilers.
Because Barkov, Forsling, they just are able to shut McDavid down. So the rest of those guys got to carry the load.
Exactly. And yeah, I mean, going back to Edmonton now, we'll see if Edmonton is able to open it up more like they were in games 1 and 2. Games 3 and 4, definitely lower event. Nothing like the low event Capitals Hurricanes games, but they're definitely lower event than they were in games 1 and 2 there. And it's a quick turnaround here. Quick turnaround with travel from a overtime game Thursday night to a Saturday night game up there in Edmonton. So we'll see how that does. Before that, though, make sure you subscribe to the Hockey Gambling Podcast on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on YouTube, everywhere. Leaves a 5-star rating and review, comment, like, and subscribe on YouTube, all that good stuff. Appreciate that. Of course, make sure you check out the SGPN app. Get all our free picks and podcasts there. Yeah, but I mean, as someone who has a lot of Panthers, Conn Smythe, especially Sam Bennett, Brad Marchand, Alexander Barkov, I do regret a bit not, at least throwing something on the Oilers when they were down 3-0. But like you said, they looked dead. It looked like the Panthers were going to roll again.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I mean the first goal for the Oilers in the second period is massive because they're not making it back from 4-0 down. So but they deserve that, and they as we mentioned last podcast that the Panthers have historically dominated the second periods, and the Oilers again flipped the switch and flipped around the narrative and really controlled that second period. They came out with a real purpose and intensity that they showed nothing of in the first 80 minutes in Florida. So yeah, it was just shocking, really. No, I didn't think about betting the Oilers, that's for sure, when they're down 3-0, given the body language, given the fact that they're committing the same stupid penalties. Just really sloppy stuff there in the first period, like the high sticking, whatnot. Um, yeah, you could tell like the refs didn't want to call penalties. There were a couple things that they didn't call that might have been called in earlier games, but when you do blatant stuff like hitting somebody in the face with your stick, they're going to have to call those. And that stupid penalty by Nurse on Barkov, the trip when they're already on a penalty kill, that was particularly egregious, I thought. So yeah, it just looked like the same old shit from Game 3. So I figured, well, who the hell would want to bet the Oilers the way that things have been going?
Exactly. I mean, Matthew Tkachuk capitalizes there on the power play. He finally shows up in the Stanley Cup Final. 2 power play goals to open the scoring. Had a few chances there to get the hat trick, which would have definitely skyrocketed his chances for the Conn Smythe. But he had the assist on the game tying goal late, so he's right back up there for the Conn Smythe. We'll get into all that stuff more later on now, but like the series seems to be like a pick 'em now. It's a best of 3. Edmonton has home ice, but we don't exactly know how much home ice matters, especially with these Panthers. His Panthers, and Sam Bennett has scored in like 5 or 6 straight road games. Like he's just been incredible. So after I think he only had an assist there in game 4, maybe he could go back on the road and further cement his Conn Smythe lead, because he's like, look at the odds. Sam Bennett 150, Draisaitl 230, McDavid 350. The next Panthers, Marchand at 18-1. Like he's completely taken over all the equity for the Panthers.
Right. You can kind of understand the Tkachuk love, given the recency bias and whatnot, but it'll take a lot more than what he did there in Game 4 to get it done if the Panthers win. So I don't really agree with that move. Certainly wouldn't recommend betting him now. When he had big numbers and that happened, then sure, you can win. But no, I don't entirely agree with that move. But yeah, Sam Bennett is the guy to beat right now with the amount of goals that he's scored, even though he just had an assist in Game 4, or did he have nothing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, he had an assist on the tying goal, I believe.
Right. So yeah, he's still a guy to beat. And it's not about the points really with him. It's just the amount of goals he scored, 14, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the whole thing there. Before we go too much further, just want to mention the puck buck bets from last game. You had the over. That one hit pretty easily. You had even money for 10 puck bucks. I had the first period under 1.5 plus 110 for 10 bucks. That did not come through, even though it looked like it was no goal the first 10 minutes for the first game of Stanley Cup Final. But Panthers get 2 power play goals.
I had the Oilers as well, which again looked dead.
You did have the Oilers. I'm not sure why it's not showing up. I think I have it on 610. I think that's the issue. Yeah, you had the Oilers there, game 4 plus 124. So yeah, you were like, all right, let's throw some puck buck bets out there, and you went 2-0. Not too bad.
Yeah, well, hopefully somebody told, and you got your money's worth, considering how that game went.
Yeah, absolutely. There. All right, let's get right into the game 5 odds here. Saturday night at 8 p.m. in Edmonton. Let me get these up on the screen. We have the Florida Panthers plus 105, Oilers minus 125. Total is at 6.5, over at minus 102, under at minus 118. You can get the draw there for plus 310. I think it is worth noting that the Stanley Cup Final, or to lift the Stanley Cup, I believe, is around a pick-up now. Like that's something you can look at. But how are you going here for Game 5 with the potential zigzag for the Panthers?
Yeah, this has been a zigzaggy series so far. But yeah, I think if anything, I want to back the Oilers here. You mentioned how the Panthers are excellent on the road, but the reason why McDavid was shut down in games 3 and 4 was because Paul Maurice's ability to match up Barkov and force him against him 5-on-5, just completely neuter him, and you take away the best player in the game. That's always going to work to your advantage. And now the Oilers going back home. The Knob has the ability to unleash his best weapon and get him matched up against other players whenever possible. So I expect McDavid to have a more productive Game 5 and potentially Game 7 on home ice. So for that reason, I kind of like the Oilers again. Minus 125 here. The Panthers were much bigger favorites in their building, possibly for the reasons I mentioned already. But yeah, that's interesting to me that the Panthers were so significantly favored, whereas the Oilers are just mild favorites here. So yeah, give me the Oilers. It's the home ice does still matter quite a bit. So that's where I'm going. And I mean, you got to have balls to bet the under in these games. I see no reason why to stay away from the over once more, especially with the possibility of getting Pickard in net. Although it really doesn't matter what there was. Like Stu Skinner hasn't exactly been terrific. So yeah, the over 6.5. Bobrovsky has been. Yeah, he's been good, but the Oilers generate so many chances, especially when they're getting so many power play opportunities. So, yeah, once again, you got to look towards goals in this series.
Yeah, I was going to try to interject there, but yeah, Bob has been good. I mean, Bob was great, I think, at times in that third period when it was tied. He had a few big saves on Draisaitl. Edmonton had a few key power plays. They could have, either tied it there in the second or taken the lead in the third. Looking at the series overall, according to a natural stat trick, Oilers have 17.27 expected goals, but only 14 goals for. So still a 3 goal save above expected for Bob, despite him, having, I guess his raw numbers looking better now because the Oilers are getting so many shots, but still nothing like you would expect when he's giving up 4 goals a game there. I was looking to see there if it would be better to bet like the Panthers in 6 or the Oilers in 6 at this point, but parlay calculator, it would have to be it's just not beneficial to do that there. So looking at this one here, yeah, over 6.5, minus 102. I guess I understand why it's going down because it's getting late in the series. They're only going to call egregious penalties, but both of these teams are going to be able to score quite a bit. We saw, 7 and 9 goals in the first 2 games in Edmonton. So, yeah, I like the over there. And if I had to play a side, it would be Edmonton, minus 125. I do like McDavid here to get at least 2 points. Looking at these playoffs, after going on the road for 2 games, against Dallas, came home and scored 2. Against Vegas, had a goal and an assist. Against the Kings, had a goal and 2 assists. Last year, 2-point game, 2-point game, 0 points against Vancouver. But after going on the road, coming back home, McDavid getting the easier matchups, he just thrives on that. So look for McDavid shots on goal props, maybe 2 or 3 points. I think this is a game where he can take over.
Right. One final note that the Oilers have been shooting high on Bobrovsky. Once again, that's clearly his weakness. All the goals they scored in Game 4, except for the fluky Draisaitl OT winner, were shot above the pads. I thought that Darnell Nurse goal in particular was very weak by Bobrovsky, considering how low he was in net. It was still a great shot, but he still allowed far too much space above his shoulders. And yeah, so the Oilers clearly have the book on Bob and are exploiting it. And, they generate a lot of chances, going to make a lot of saves, a lot of tremendous saves, like that one save on McDavid, that terrific breakaway opportunity. That was a great save there. I thought that Oilers were going to walk away with it if that went in, considering they had all the momentum. And Forsling too, I want to shout out him, like that recovery play he made on Jeff Skinner there on his own breakaway was equally tremendous. Yeah, he allowed Bobrovsky to make an easier save the way that he back checked. Like, this guy's unreal when it comes to his defensive ability.
Yeah, he's been great there. Forsling, definitely one of the more underrated guys there in the league. I guess look again for the third line to generate some stuff on the road. They were good in the first 2 games. Same thing, Evan Bouchard, shots on goal. Had 7 and 8 in the first 2 games. Overtime did help that, but 9 in game 3, only 3 last game, but did have 8 shot attempts. He's going to be firing the puck at will. You can get him shots on goal here: 4 at plus 100, 5 230, 6 475. If you want to ladder that up, and then Sam Bennett, anytime goal scorer, 2-1. He's been a menace on the road in these playoffs. Has a goal in 5 straight road games, all except 2 road games in these playoffs. Those are both in Toronto there. So he's been great on the road. He's a Conn Smythe favorite for a reason. And I think getting 2-1 for a goal here is a pretty good look.
Can't argue with any of that. Bouchard has been very, very proactive when it comes to firing the puck. I wouldn't say a lot of them are the best decisions, considering who he is working with. A lot of those shots from the blue line just end up in Bobrovsky's chest, or just they go wide. So I don't know if it's the most beneficial strategy, but in terms of bets, yeah, for sure, it looks like Bouchard shots on goal is the play.
Yeah, we'll have to see what Knoblauch goes there with his lines. He had Connor Brown up on the top line last game. Evander Kane just taking penalties left and right. He's been dropped down the lineup. So see what they're going with. See if Skinner's back in there. Could maybe get the Taylor Swift bump after going to the game last night. Could be also the Travis Kelce Taylor Swift curse that the Cats are now losing there. Also got to see. I imagine Klingberg will be back in for Stetcher after he was benched.
Yeah, well, apparently they're not as beneficial to the Panthers as Brooks Koepka, who was otherwise occupied. He's right in the mix there in Pittsburgh area, whatever, Oakmont, whatever it's called. More on golf later, but yeah, the P's, they need Brooks Koepka. If Koepka somehow manages to win, I think that the Panthers are going to win the Stanley Cup, and they just go hand in hand, right?
Yeah, it should there. It should there. All right, we are brought to you by Edge Boost, the first ever bank account built for bettors, ensuring all gambling transactions are approved. No usage fees, no minimums, and you can earn cashback rewards. 100% approval for all betting deposits. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with promo code SGPN. It's your last chance to sign up and get a free Refs Are Terrorists t-shirt. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/refs to claim your free shirt. And of course, Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas is giving away the ultimate fantasy football experience for a 12-person league to draft in Vegas and be treated like VIPs for their stay with a limo ride, $5,000 tab for stadium swim, and a hotel stay for the entire 12-person league. And you can always get 50% off at the Circa properties with promo code SGP15. Enter the ultimate fantasy football contest for free at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Circa. That is sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CIRCA. All right. Yeah, as I said before, got to pick them here for the Stanley Cup, -110 on each side. Oilers in 6 plus 300, Panthers in 6 plus 250. Yeah. You have any Stanley Cup thoughts for people that may want them?
Well, considering the Oilers have 2 games at home, and I mentioned all the home ice advantages they have, -110 there seems like a bet to me. I know that the Panthers should be like -145, -150 favorites again, considering that's what they were in the games 3 and 4. But I disagree with that, having bet Oilers in both those games. So, yeah, -110. I like the Oilers with both games at home, and they've taken the best punch from the Panthers now, and they were able to not only recover but land one of their own in response. So, yeah, I think the Oilers have a lot of they've overcome a lot of the doubt, I think, that the Panthers have caused in their mentality. So Oilers at -110 would be the play if you want to get into the series at this late date.
Yeah, I think that's really the only way you can possibly go. Is you mentioned it, the home ice advantage. Edmonton 32-14-4 at home this season, regular season playoffs. Florida 29-21-3. So Edmonton's home ice advantage has been massive for them. They've said they felt like if Game 7 last year was at home, they would have won, and we very well could see that.
Very nice to say that now.
Yeah, of course they say it now, but we very well could see that again. Oilers in 7 is plus 250. If you want a long-term bet and to root for it to go 7, maybe take that. But just Oilers either game by game or take a -110 here for the series. All right, let's get to the Conn Smythe here. Let's go. That's what everyone is talking about. That's what everyone is probably here for. We got Sam Bennett plus 150, Draisaitl plus 230, McDavid plus 350. They're the three big favorites. We have Marchand 18-1, Kachuk all the way down to 30-1, as low as 16-1 there, and then
30-1. That's still live.
that's still live on FanDuel there for Matthew Kachuk.
Interesting.
And then Bob and Barkov, who looked like the two favorites before, are now both at 75-1. I'm going down with the ship. Barkov should not be 75-1 right now. He had a 2-point game, 2 good assists there in the first period. All it takes is, another 3-point game, and he has it.
I can't disagree with that, of course. When I watch these games, when I watch the Panthers, he's the best guy on their team. It doesn't take a hockey genius to notice what he's doing defensively. If you just watch him play, all the passes he's making, I know they're more subtle than just, this guy scored an overtime goal. He gets all the love. But in terms of what he means to the team, which is what I think Conn Smythe should be, it's certainly Barkov. They can take Barkov out of the lineup. Panthers ain't winning shit. You take any one of the other guys out, they still have a fighting chance for sure. So, yeah. But that's if we lived in a just, reasonable world, and we do not.
Of course not. Of course we don't.
No. So you have to factor in all the narrative stuff, recency bias, all that good shit. And for that reason, I can understand why he's this long. But you're right. He's still a bet. He's still up there in points. It's not too far back of who's leading that in points. Is it Bennett now, or is it
Bennett and Kachuk both have 21, and then you have Verhaeghe at 20 and Barkov at 19.
I didn't know Kachuk had that many points.
Yeah,
He must have a lot of assists.
Yeah, Kachuk 30-1 on FanDuel. That's almost double what it is on DraftKings, 16-1. If you can get 30-1 for Kachuk, he will have the late steam. I do feel like if the Panthers win the cup, it's just going to whoever has the biggest game in the clinching game. I feel like the voter is going to be so split at this point, unless it's Bennett or Marchand, one of those top guys. Maybe they can secure it up, but still, in that case, it's going down to the wire there. Kachuk 7 goals, 14 assists, the exact opposite of Sam Bennett.
I don't know. I don't know if it'll come down to the last game or what have you. It
might not come down to it, but I feel like it has more of a weight than it should.
Sure, there'll be a few guys who are like, I don't fucking know. I'm just going to vote for the guy who does his best in the last game of the series. Maybe like a few of the jury are on the fence, and it takes like a really good argument by the lawyer to get them over the finishing line. But I think most of the voters have a strong idea already of who they're voting for. And
if you want a real long shot, for Verhaeghe at 200-1, I mean, he's right up there in points, has 20. He's been clutch before. He could score 2 goals and get right back up there with, at least Kachuk type odds at like 30-1.
I suppose
that's a cash out. That's a cash out play. Play 2 of those, split that in half. And hope he scores next game. That's all that is.
Yeah, I'm naked on Verhaeghe, and I'm not betting any of that. But yeah, it's pretty clearly Bennett to me. He's the guy to overtake for the Panthers. But you know what? We talked about how the playoffs have provided everything, and for a while it seemed like the Oilers' Conn Smythe was just hand in hand with Connor McDavid. But now even that is thrown into flux with Draisaitl. I did not know that he was this close to breaking the record, but he's 4 overtime winners, and that is a record in the NHL playoffs. So that is why he got steamed to hell, and he's even ahead of McDavid in the odds. So that throws another wrinkle into this already senior series. It's hard to bet against McDavid, but it's hard to overcome that record. Like, that's such a meaningful achievement that I can understand why people are betting this, and that'll certainly sway a lot of voters. So now even the Oilers it's a lot of indecision there. So I don't know who I would want to bet at this point. If I had to make a pick, I would take just the longer odds of McDavid, considering now he gets potentially 2 home games where he can get away from Barkov and Forsling and put up more production. But yeah, Draisaitl is at the top of this game right now. I know he had 0 shot attempts in game 3. It's like the first time since like 5 or 6 years or whatever. And so yeah, he responded in a big way in Game 4, and I don't expect him to go away at all. So that's what makes betting McDavid tough, because Draisaitl is often going to get his passes as well, especially on the power play. So yeah, it's very confusing there on the Oilers side right now. I thought it was just McDavid, but Draisaitl with that overtime winner is just throwing himself right back into the mix.
Yeah, I mean that is the big question now. Is okay, it's a pick 'em, and Draisaitl and McDavid are both right there. I mean, one of them has to be the pick at this point. They have to win 2 out of 3. And like you said, I think it has to be McDavid. Even if they were, around, like FanDuel has Draisaitl plus 230 and McDavid plus 270. Like it's not as big of a difference as if you shop around, 200 to 350 there at DraftKings. I still think McDavid, coming off 1 secondary assist in 2 games, is kind of at his low point of the finals, and this could be the high point for Draisaitl. Breaking that record, 4 overtime goals, had another assist as well, so 5 overtime points. But McDavid just has to come out, have 2 or 3 points in game 5 or game 6, and I think he's right back to being the favorite. I could see the voters going for that record and going for the goals that Draisaitl has, but I think McDavid still. Also, we didn't officially confirm that Connor Hellebuck won the Hart Trophy, so Leon Draisaitl right behind him. I wonder if voters be like, all right, Draisaitl didn't get the Hart, maybe should have. Now maybe we give it to the Conn Smythe to him instead of McDavid.
Maybe. I think that's tenuous at best.
Okay.
Interesting, though. Yeah. I should apologize, I guess, to the voters. I went on a big spiel a month and a half ago when McKinnon wasn't even nominated, but he was just 1 point back of Kucherov, so I can understand a little more considering how close it was. And to be honest, it was very close. I mean, I would put, if I made my own ballot, it would be Kucherov first, Draisaitl, McKinnon, like very close for second, and then Michael third, of course.
Yeah, I mean, Hellebuck had 81 first place votes. Draisaitl had 53. Kucherov 25. McKinnon had 27. He had more first place votes than Kucherov. But yeah, 1 point behind. Hellebuck ultimately won by 137 points there. Like we talked about last show before the official announcement, it was just the late season injuries there definitely did not help them, but maybe that does help Draisaitl get the Conn Smythe. I wonder if that'll affect at least a few voters. I feel like they're like, oh, Draisaitl didn't get the Hart. He's had such a great season. Let's give him the Conn Smythe as well, especially with that record. But like you, if I had to bet one, it'd be McDavid plus 350.
It's like the goalie faction just won by default because all the skaters did well towards the end of the year. Yep. So it just split the vote, and Hellebuck won by default, sadly.
Yeah, if one of those guys came back and played a few more games, McKinnon was out a bit, Draisaitl was out a bit, Kucherov, if maybe he had a little bit of an earlier push, but no, goaltender wins out there. Yeah, that's pretty much it there for Conn Smythe. I mean, McDavid, Draisaitl still neck and neck there. Still 3 games to go, hopefully. Marchand, Tkachuk still there as the longer shots for the Panthers. So we'll see how that shakes out.
Indeed.
All right. We are brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is going long for the NBA Finals with their extender bonus. Hop in, and the longer the series goes, the bigger the bonus gets. So sign up with promo code HGP to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. That's UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code HGP. And we got Rhythm. You've heard us talk about them before, and they got the power trends going. AI-detected patterns where the Rhythm's model has consistently won and has a high ROI. Power trends are updated daily and exclusive to Rhythm. No touts, no noise, just clean data-backed bets. Download the Rhythm app, check out Power Trends, and start betting smarter. We'll be. So get your 7-day free trial, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. And of course, we're brought to you by mybookie.ag, your place to bet on every sport, including the Stanley Cup Finals. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations, easy deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. Rachel, anything else here on Game 5 or the Conn Smythe or some U.S. Open talk?
Yeah, I think we've exhausted the hockey stuff, considering we're talking about the same two teams again and again and again without any other games going on. So sure, the golf has been very fun. I love a tough course, and this has been an elite course. And in that respect, there's only what 5 guys under par right now, 4 or 5 guys, maybe not that much. It's been a brutal course. The thick rough has been killing guys. You miss the fairway, you're toast. Considering how deep the rough is, we got some long par 3s. The par 5s are certainly not gimmies, and yeah, that's created a lot of chaos. And we've got some big names missing the cut. Thankfully, like Justin Thomas, we're big on him missing. Patrick Cantley, I don't know if he made it. I didn't check. I watched like most of it, most of the first 2 rounds at work, but I was on the bus when the final cut line was being solidified, so I've got to check that. I know they didn't finish because it was
he did miss the cut. Yeah, notables to miss cut at U.S. Open: Aubert, Cantlay, you got Bryson, you got Fleetwood, Lowry, Neiman, Straka, and Justin Thomas.
Yeah, rest in peace, my Aubert ticket, but he did beat Justin Thomas in the matchup, so that's good. And yeah, that's great news there. It's Cantlay missing. I thought he did, but I wasn't sure. Rory, though, I bet Rahm against him, and I bet him to miss the cut, but he had a late push there. I think he made it there at +6. So yeah, he had a nice round considering things were not going well early with 2 doubles, I think, in the first 3 or 4 holes. Yeah, so it's been very fun. I love the chaos, big scores, and people being punished for poor shots. That's always good there. So yeah, we've got some funny names there at the top of the board. JJ Spawn, Ben Griffin. He's had a tremendous season. We can't put him in the funny name category. There was Tristan Lawrence. He was up there for a while. He was 6 under at one point, threatening our Sam Burns second round leader.
Tristan.
Yeah, Tristan. I think he's South African. I don't know what the fuck they're doing down there. But he collapsed there in the last 10 holes.
We got my Rasmus here. How's your Rasmus doing?
Why is that your Rasmus?
Because he's the one you said Rasmus. I was like, oh, I got this guy, and you're like, no, there's a different Rasmus.
Oh, my guy Rasmus. He's not on the front page here.
No,
he's +4 though. He's not that far behind. +4 is actually pretty good considering the course.
I do not see him here. No respect at
maybe he's just getting bet.
Maybe. Yeah, too much liability there on him.
There he is, 225 to 1. So a little better than my 300 to 1. So he's in the mix. He's got the same score as John Rahm. John Rahm is 25 to 1. He's the our most live outright. Although Victor Hovland is part of the Continental European bet at 7 to 1. So he's my guy. I'll probably add more on Victor. I really like the guy. I hope he wins a major at some point. Why not this time? He played tremendously today. He's one of those guys at under par. Yeah, what else? Brooks Koepka, like I said, after doing terribly in the last few majors, he's been pretty good through the first 2 rounds.
Didn't Nux hit something round 2?
Yes, I was getting there. Right. Yeah. I don't know why I didn't follow. Last night he was saying that he bet Sam Burns 150 to 1 to be the second round leader, and it was a bit of a sweat with guys making a late push. JJ Spawn, he fell apart there at the end and needed him to bogey the last hole to get away with no dead heats, and he did. I only joined at -115 on Sam Burns, so not quite the 150 to 1 that the Nux got. But yeah, that guy, for whatever reason, he kills it with these first round, second round leader bets. Jonathan Vegas against 750 to 1, it was ridiculous. So yeah, next time he throws out something in triple digits, I got to tell just at least a few bucks because this guy just doesn't miss.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we'll see what happens there on the U.S. Open. See what happens with that. Of course, Game 5 on Saturday night as well, and we'll be back on Monday. I imagine. I don't think we're going to be doing a Saturday night podcast, but we'll see. I'll be home. I'm not sure if you're going to the bar or staying home, but
I'll be wasted Saturday night.
Yeah. So Monday, Game 6 is Tuesday. So the Stanley Cup will be in the building on Game 6.
Indeed,
sunrise either way there. Shall we give out a few puck bets here?
I didn't really think about it.
Neither did I. I am going with Bennett goal. That's 2-1. I'll put 10 puck bucks on that.
Just give me Oilers series minus 110, 25
right.
bucks just for something.
Yeah, bucks there. Give me the draw plus 310. Give me the draw 310. But I'll put 10 bucks on that one as well.
Bouchard shots.
Yeah.
If you have to say
No, I'll do it. Yeah, boost. I mean, even money for 4 is a bit much. I'll do 10 on that, and then I'll do 6 for 4-1. For $5 there.
All right,
there we go. That's the 35-minute mark of the YouTube video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff there on YouTube. Leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple and Spotify when you subscribe there as well. Anything else before we close it out?
No, eventually we'll get around to draft talk. Today would have been a good day considering it's a shorter pod, but yeah, we got time. We got a couple weeks left before the draft.
2 weeks. 2 weeks from now, it'll be the mid to late first round. So hopefully we'll know who the Flyers pick by then. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right. Yeah. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at HockeySGPN. Get in the Discord, sg.pn/Discord. I am Ryan Gilbert. You can follow me on Twitter at rgilbertsop.
And I'm Joel Myron. You will find me very grateful. I bet a lot more on the Oklahoma City Thunder to win the Western Conference, considering they're down 3 points at half, and they're already down 2-1 in the series. So still, let's go Thunder.